Well, here we are, guys. Finally, it took 70 minutes, 71 minutes for my PC to get back up and mounted on system, and now I'm monitoring it. Finally, my C drive has settled down from being just flat hammered the entire time, just pegged. I think there's actually probably hard drive damage going on, and I don't know what's causing it. This is the second brand new build, like from scratch with nothing from the old PC that has gone this same way. After about a year, the C drive has been hit so hard that it finally starts to throw errors and fails. And I've gotten different manufacturers, I've gotten different. I mean, this entire system is brand new. I got it in 2020 in July, so it's not even 2 years old yet. And the system is absolutely brand new. Everything was straight out of the box, brand new. And we are now at 23 months, and the C drive is starting to fail because it's been hit so hard. And so I'm trying to figure out what the story is. But I mean, this restart, I started the restart at 8:58, and now it is 10:12. And that's when finally it got to the point where OBS would load and I could get a browser window open. And that's it. So I'm going to do what we've recommended and get an SSD, but I feel like an SSD reading and writing and reading and writing all the time will also just fail within a year or two. I'm not I'm not sure if that's going to solve our problem. So I have to see. I am looking through. There we go. Because Brent had made a recommendation for a hard drive, and I'm going to look at it. So this guy is that crucial 1 terabyte SSD NAND. I could go pick it up this afternoon and start installation. I think that's where we're going to have to be. So I'll go in ahead and purchase that 1 terabyte. And then we'll reinstall everything. And I'll just be super, super critical about what we install on here. Which is sad because, I mean, that means really I'm pretty much going to have to stop gaming on this machine. Because I'm not sure it's not Steam that's causing this problem. I'm not sure that it's not. But I mean, when I look at this, C drive is doing fine now, but this is a perfectly normal read on C drive. But a few minutes ago, this thing was pegged all the way to 100%, and there were no breaks. It was 100% the entire time. So I guess, looking at the CPU, all of my cores are running just fine. I've got the Xbox game bar running out here. Of course, that's so useful. I'm like sitting here going, okay. My memory, I don't know what's loaded up in memory. There's a lot of stuff going up in memory, though. And you're just looking through everything here. you know. So anyway, I don't know where Brent went. Hope Brent's here somewhere. Because, you know, that's totally what Brent needs to do. It's his job. Anyway. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything specifically going on here except there are driver failures all over the place, but that's all right. I guess not driver failures, just drivers moving around all the time. Here's Windows Update freaking out again. Still freaking out. So part of this is Windows Update. I'm going to wait until Brian joins us, and then once he does, then I can switch over to, because I mean, the system looks like it's running and stable now at this point. So it's, you know, it's had better days, but it's running stably now. So I might as well go on ahead and, I mean, like everything seems to be running okay. Let's see, what does, can I get a, I mean, like if I add a 3-year replacement plan to it, see, now I'm looking over at Micro Center and looking at the hard drive that was recommended. Right, so $89. It's specs, you know, it looks like, I mean, this is pretty much what he was saying, is it runs pretty fine. If I get a 3-year replacement plan on it, at least 3 years from now, I can swap it out when it decides to explode and whatever. And maybe that's what I just need to do, is just put a 3-year replacement plan on this. That makes it, you know, it's going to make it $110, but maybe that's what I need to do. It's only 1 terabyte, which should be enough to hold Windows and Clip Studio Paint, and that's about it. And then anything else that needs to load, we can load it elsewhere. And Adobe, of course, will be the horrible thing that we're going to have to load. It is a requirement on this, so I think I will do that. So there you go. There we go. This is our solution for this. We're going to do that. I'm going to go on ahead and reserve it. Then we'll go buy it. I don't know. Do I have a? I don't know. Maybe. We'll continue as guest. There we go. Putting in all of my vital information. I did buy the 3-year replacement plan, and that should make it at least easier. It desperately doesn't. It won't let me. Not ecstatic about that. Doesn't like that. Whatever. All right, so let's go on ahead and crank up some tunes. I'll do lounge today. Mm. Okay, here's what we're doing. We are doing things here, so I apologize for this. I wonder if I can use that code instead. Okay, guys, you're gonna have to hang on just a second. I'll be right back. All right. He has plot armor. Can has plot armor, huh? All right. It's good to see you, Saber. We're waiting for Can to join. We're having some problems with the specific. We're having a problem with my machine, which is what we're doing right now. Okay. Oh. There we go. I'll take a picture of this. There we go. And we are done with that. All right. So, what problem do I not have? So something in my system, and here's the story. There's a long story behind this, and thank you for putting the IT hat on. But yeah, there's something in my system that is hammering my C drive. C drive has welcome Brent. Now I can explain it to Brent too. Okay, Brent, just so you know, I just placed the order for that SSD over at Microsoft. But there is something is wrong with one of the programs that I'm using, because this is a brand new system. I bought it in July of 2020, and it has a platter C drive and a platter D drive, but it's all brand new. Everything in it is brand new. And so the platter C drive, though, has, since I've installed all of my programs, has had this problem where it is perpetually at 100% read write. And I think what's happening is I'm starting to get failures now. My C drive after 2 years is starting to fail. But this is the second machine with brand new equipment, with brand new everything that had a continuous hammering. Yeah, I'll bring up Task Manager for you. It's not doing it now. However, and I'll even bring up, we can bring up Task Manager, and I will transfer to this page so you can see this. And I'll even open up, here's Task Manager. So going in here, going into the performance, I'll even open the resource monitor so you can see what's going on. At the moment, C drive is fine, but let's see if node.js, you mean, is it running node.js? Because it was at one point. I don't think it's running node.js at this point. I think it's Adobe. So, and because right now, at this point in time, both of my my OneDrive and my yeah, I don't know what it is with my NVIDIA drivers, but yeah, look at all these NVIDIA drivers. I've got 5 containers running, 3 shares. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's part of our problem is that I mean, because that is the one. Now that you mention it, no, because that was this whole thing was built around my 1080 Ti, and it wasn't a 1080 Ti. It was a 1080 Ti. It's not anymore because my GPU. Fair. And I've got a 6 core, so that makes sense. Perfect. Well, that makes some sense then. Although I've got 5 containers. Does that mean I have a 5 core GPU? I mean, that would be fine. I'd be okay with that. By the way, can I just mention how cool it is that both of you guys are helping? Thank you very much. Gotcha. So it's heading over onto my CPU, which does have 6 cores, as we can clearly see right over here. So we've got 6 cores. So what it's doing, what you're saying is that the GPU is sharing with each core. That makes some sense. Okay. I follow. I have seen node.js pop up routinely. I don't see it down here. I got a lot of service hosts running. Once you said node.js, I recognize that as something that has been running a number of times. I don't see it down here now because I usually kill all of the okay. Yeah, I have seen Node.js on here. So yeah, I can see that probably is our problem child. So I went ahead and Brent had recommended, Brent below, Brent that's right over there on the bottom. Well, okay, so we have neither of them are running right now. None of them are running. And that's actually caused me some problems now because I don't run my OneDrive at all now unless I start my OneDrive. And so what has happened now is I have been at somebody else's house and I'm like, here, I'm going to work on my comic. Crap, I can't because it didn't upload the last work I did on my comic. So I'm even in, I mean, because of the fact of the way I'm handling OneDrive, it's still, it's not doing it. I did move a NAS box. I don't even know what a NAS box is. NAS box. Other than making a NAFSAS joke, which is, because I can't not be 12 sometimes. What's a NAS box? Other than going, rock in the NAS box. Okay. Plug into the internet. It's an H that you can plug into the internet. So, just be effectively a hard drive hanging out downstairs off of my my router. In other words, what you're saying is have a remote, or have all of what I normally have stored out on OneDrive stored on a NAS box. Then I wouldn't have to mess with all of this stuff with the cloud storages because I could just access it remotely from my Surface. Okay, I have a Surface, and that's part of the problem is that I'll work on my. I feel like the music's loud again. There we go. I had seen a very interesting thing that I'm very interested in, which is effectively an SSD drive loader. So it looks like my USB box right up here on top where it just has slots and you plug an SSD in and that loads and mounts. And then you have that SSD running. And then you've got, a terabyte of storage hanging out there running as an SSD or whatever. And I've thought about doing that to park. I have all of the family photos now and everything that my entire family since the 1800s. I'm now the keeper of all of that. And it makes me slightly nervous that it's all sitting precariously here. A house fire would wipe out all of the family. So I've been putting all that up on Google Drive. And then, of course, on the OneDrive is all of my work stuff. So the stuff that I'm doing but I'm a photographer and I'm a comic artist. I generate tons of huge Clip Studio files. So, there's a lot of my OneDrive's filling up too, and so that might not be a bad idea. That might be a very good option. But I also thought about that, like, I guess it's similar to like a kind of like a Blade server in that you can swap out the SSDs and that kind of thing. So anyway, what you're saying is I should use the online storage for the family photos, but maybe for my work, have just a networked hard drive that everything sits on, so that I'm not using OneDrive as much and not using cloud drives, is what you're recommending. I do like being able to take my phone though and pull up a picture. Here's the page that I'm working on right now. When I go see people in Fort Collins and things like that. So I like the idea of putting it on a network that my phone can get to, or my Surface can get to, or my sister's computer can get to it. Not you. So that might not be a bad idea. There's unfortunately my dad recently passed, so it's just my sister and me really that are holding all of this now. My mom's information and my dad's information from all of the family. My mom passed in '02, and so now it's just me and my sister and my kid who's 12. So, all of this is his inheritance, his data inheritance, so to speak. So, there's not a lot of ability to share the cost of this. So, yeah, Brent has been doing some good stuff and helping me out as well. I'm open to everything, though. I mean, as much as I absolutely adore Brent, and I do, thank you, Brent. You are a good person. I am open to your recommendations as well. Certainly, yeah. All things are good. We can come up with, but I also noticed that you both seem to be in concurrence. Like you both seem to have similar ideas. Brent has been trying to get me to do some of these things for a while, and that's why you're hearing him go, I've been saying this. He has. This is it gets to the point where I have to have enough disruption of my work that it's worth me dedicating $200 to $300 and the rest of the week this week to fixing this problem. Because of course, as soon as I swap out my C drive, we're gonna have to reinstall Windows. We're gonna have to reinstall all of the programs. Then everything is going to be connected improperly. Um, for example, little things that are super annoying. I use Daz Studio, and Daz Studio is hard drive based, so it's DOS based at the core, which means that the moment I put another hard drive in there and change its routing location, it's going to no longer find all of my resources that I have worked on. Well, no, not necessarily. What's happening is this: we've hit a point now where it took 64 minutes for my PC to post to get to a point where it was runnable. 64 minutes, because I started at 8:59 when it was seized up, and so I had to happy button it to restart. And when I did, it tried to do a Windows update, failed the Windows update because that was required. Then it had to undo the Windows update. Then it had to repost, and when it did, it came back up, and it takes another 20 or 30 minutes for it to finally get to here. So it's not that. It's not that I needed to validate Brent. It was more along the lines of Brent's been saying this, and I've been saying, yeah, but it's not a big enough problem. It's not a big enough problem. But now it's 64 minutes. It's a big enough problem because, like I said, I'm pretty much done working for the week now. This is pretty much it for me for the week. I'm going to spend the rest of the week getting everything wired back the way it was so that I can get back to work. So it had to be weighed out to the point where it was annoying enough that I knew I was going to end up taking out 3 or 4 days of work, because I'm not going to be able to work while I replug everything back in and reinstall everything and go through all of the things freaking out because nothing's connected properly and nothing's wired correctly, and it has to all be screwed up. And everything will be saved. My comic will be saved. All of that will be saved, but the rest of the week is a loss at this point in time. So, okay, cool. I'm not. You did send me, Brent. You sent me a PM with the Windows 11 install doodly wop. So I've got that, and I'll just put it onto a USB drive, and that will help us when I get the SSD, which, by the way, will be as soon as this show is over. We're going to hop in the car and drive over to Micro Center and pick it up. So yes, anyway, don't worry, Saber. I'm doing a little of both. I just want to make sure you know that you're appreciated, because I do appreciate that. But it's not that I'm overwriting Brent. It's just that Brent has been saying there's something wrong, and he was saying you need to get an SSD, and I was like, but if the problem is hammering the C drive, I mean, isn't flash memory more susceptible to read-write cycles? And if so, doesn't that mean that if I don't fix whatever problem is hitting the read-write cycles, that means that all I'm doing is replacing a platter drive with a flash memory? Oh, okay, cool. If I replace a platter drive with flash memory and something is constantly read-write cycling, doesn't that mean that I'm just replacing one thing that died in 2 years with another thing that's going to die in 6 months? But what I did do, because the SSD that Brent recommended was was $90, I went ahead and got the $20 3-year replacement plan on it, so that at least for the next 3 years, if it dies out, I can replace it. And since I no longer keep my core information, the stuff that's irreplaceable, I never keep that on my C drive. And I keep it all in the cloud. And because of that, in theory, if it crashes, it just means 3 days downtime where I'm going to have to reinstall everything. My biggest problem are things like DAZ Studio, which is legacy. And the legacy problem with DAZ Studio is that it's very old as far as its core concepts. It's very DOS based, and so it's very sensitive to rerouting drives, and your entire library of all of the things that you've been doing are all based on which physical location on drives it is. And so it's very sensitive to swapping it out. And so I know that that's going to be days before we get that all squared away and everything fixed. Things like that. My OneDrive and Google Drive are now set to D drive, which is, by the way, the reason why I also was saying I don't think it's the Google Drive or the OneDrive, because it's C drive that's being hammered. My D drive is fine. I mean, even when I run this, you can see D drive's got nothing hanging out here. There's no read on D drive at all. So it's not D drive that's my problem. It's not the so okay. Anyway, good. I'm not seeing Ken at all. I don't know where he went. But anyway, Saber, I just wanted you to know that I appreciate you. That's all. That's all that was about, was just so that you know I appreciate you and what you're doing. And I appreciate Brent. But Brent knows I appreciate Brent. Help clean Windows 11 for a fresh install. Okay, so are we saying that I need to do... Oh no, Dove's like, help me. Chrome.
I was figuring I'd show her to your people because I bet they've never gotten to see her.
No, Dove is not somebody who's ever been seen. Let's see if I can get the camera on here. This is our other cat. We has two cats. This
she
is
hates me right now.
Yeah, this is the I hate you cat. It removes bloatware. Yes, I use Chrome mostly. I've got these two people are, well, I mean, Brent is Brent, but also art partner.
Yes. Yeah. That's my name, art partner.
Dove does not like being held. She does not like being carried around. She's old, she's cranky, and she hates George a lot. There's a lot of hate for George. A whole lot of hate for George.
Yep, she's got her claws in my arm right now.
Yep. She's like, maybe not, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, Dove.
Okay.
I'm only going to put you through that once, and then I will let you go.
So that Brent can meet Dove. That was the whole point.
That was pretty much the whole point. I was already holding her, and she wasn't struggling too hard, so I figured I'd bring her up.
That's fair. That works. And now she's totally gone.
Oh yeah.
One, I don't even know where she went. Talk about going to ground. All right, so yeah, but I'm open. The only one I don't want to use is Edge because I hate Microsoft and I'm old and I come from the 90s when Microsoft did the whole running Firefox and Chrome out of whatever. In Chrome, the extensions I tend to use, although they are all disabled at this point in time, but I use AdBlock on Chrome because it really is nice to not have to go through commercials on YouTube every 40 seconds. So that's always a useful thing. So, okay, looks like we are somewhat stable. I'm going to try to see if I can't load something real going on over here. Get some real programs moving. And see if that hurts the system. So we're loading. Show what's new? No. And I need to load Blender. So we'll start Blender. What I need to do is write down what is critical. Right? So we know we need CSP, Blender, DAZ. Those three programs are how I run my universe. And I cannot run my universe without it. We were working on Suit Helmet. We had this last bit that we were just working on when the... Yay! Actually, that's really good. Congratulations, Saber. I'd pay you, except I'm broke. I'm always broke. And I just spent $100 on a new hard drive. And I'm grumbling. Actually, I do that with my stepmom all the time. Because she doesn't know how to run. She has a real problem running Skype. She uses that for business. So she routinely calls me with an emergency 911. Help me right now, and I will pay you money. I do that from time to time. I'm not sure that that's not related. You know? I'm really not sure it's not related in some way. Notice that I was running my stream just fine until I loaded Blender. And now that Blender is running, suddenly we had a, oh no, something's wrong with your stream. We're trying to recover it. And Blender has complicated from your Google Drive. Brent has messaged you. Oh, yep. I will request access because I'm using my primary Google Drive account. It's a typo. There's a long story behind that. So if you would please grant my other Google account access, that'd be nice. All right. Now, what I'm trying to do here. Okay. You got it, Chief, but you're gonna have to give me access. I probably should put this on the same doodly wop as the chest piece of the puzzles, but what do we have as far as thumb drives go? We could use for this. Oh, not you. I have a 256 thumb drive. I probably should use that. Why are you not coming back in the boxes? I don't actually have a Google Drive attached to that. So, here, allow me to PM you. There. That's my Google Drive. Because okay, so there's a long story behind this. When I first got my first Android phone, they told me I had to have a Google Drive, and I was annoyed, or a Google account. I was like, I don't want a Google account. I have a Hotmail account, and I don't need another Gmail account. And so they were like, well, we can't give you a phone unless you have one. So I went over and went, fine. And I just typed in, I typed in Guy Davis at Gmail, and no, that's already taken. You can't have that. How about Guy Davis 4736 And I'm like, I'll never remember that. So then I went, I don't know. So I used my gaming handle, which is AB, and I misspelled it. So I typoed it because I was typing too fast, and it accepted it. And that was great. But it typoed it. And so now whenever so that's like where everything got set to that. All of my base stuff got set to that. Since then, I've gotten another Google account, but I'm hesitant to move it all over because, like I was saying before, I use the Google account to connect with my family, all the family photos. And my dad was having such major issues understanding all of the things, and I'd have to go all the way down to Houston to get him squared away with connections. So now that my dad is gone, which is sad, now that my dad is gone, it's just my sister and me. I can probably just switch over, which is probably what I will do, is clean all of this up. I think part of this is that I have a huge, massive, tangled up data trail that's going all over the place. And so part of this is that there's this huge, massive data trail going everywhere. And I've got to clean up all of that anyway. And so, this is probably a good time. It's summer. The kid's being watched by the partner. So, maybe this is a great time for me to just finally dig into this entire mess and clean it all up and clean all of my upper data management crap and everything. And so I think finally it's time for me to square all this away. I'm doing good on my comic. I don't want to spend a week data maintenance because, of course, the next week I start working at school again. So I'm going to be doing work all day and only being able to draw at night. And so I feel like it's a waste of my open time, but that's okay. We'll just suffer, I think, is what we'll have to do. Okay. Do I want to do this way? Maybe I do. All right. Now put make this bigger. There we go. Now what we need to do, we're going to take and put it into edit mode, and we'll take the mesh. And do I really want to do it this way? Do I really want to do it this way? Or am I going to regret this? I'm probably going to regret this. Yeah, I think I'm going to regret this. So we're going to do this. All right. So we'll go to object mode, then I'll add a mesh. That's the sphere. What's the difference, you may ask? And you may ask that. And the answer really is there isn't a lot of a difference, except that I'm going to then have a separate unit for this guy. And it'll help. What I'm going to do here is do this, and then we'll start with this. Start with kind of making this fit in here a little bit better. Because that's where we need to start. And so what I can do now is in this mode, I can do this, and I can click this mode, which allows me to grab these guys here. And it'll allow me to do what I was just talking about. I can pull this out, and as I do, I can bring this to a wider. Right? And now from here, we can take that and just pull it down so it all fits inside that area, and that makes this a whole lot easier to deal with all the way around. We can grab like everything there, have everything down here, and do the same thing. Go this way. We'll just pull back like so. There we go. I can take this and kind of do this to make sure that everybody's head fits inside here. So, and we'll grab this part here and just push it in so that it's inside this back area here. And this little area can actually kind of extend out. I'll do a little bit more here. While I'm at it, I'm going to once again sort of sing the praises of this. I'm going to bring this forward here, bring this maybe out a little like so. Because now we actually, it does kind of look more like the hat or the helmet that we're looking for here. Now what I can do also on this is I can go over here and I am correct about this here. I can not here, not here. No, here. No, we're in modifier. Does anyone remember how to do it? There we go. Mirror along the X. I'm going to do a topology mirror, which allows me then to do, it's supposed to be mirroring. Mirroring topology. Why is it not mirroring? To mirror. Which maybe what I need to do is just delete half of it and then mirror it. I mean, part of this is just I need this to kind of be like that, right? So that it matches up with the front piece of this. It's amazing how much this starts to look like Bubblegum Crisis, isn't it? As far as the helmet goes. And of course, this guy will be, this guy will be transparent, so you won't have to worry about it. It's not like it's going to be seen. I just want to make sure I have enough of it to know where the helmet ends so that whenever I'm drawing it, it makes some sense. Done. All right. So I just download software or files when I install that. That looks like that file. Do I install everything? Guess I'll just download the whole 9 yards. what I'll do for this guy now is, for right now, we'll go ahead and put it in edit mode. I'll select this. Turn off that. I just won't do it anymore. Okay. And that should cover everything. This is just the generic helmet for everybody. So I can scale it rudimentarily. So okay, quick question about SSDs before I go and start plugging SSDs into this thing. Start talking about SSDs on this. When I plug in an SSD, it's already pre-formatted, yeah? Like I don't need to do the formatting anymore, yeah? I mean, like, or am I going to have to do F-disk on it? Now, remember, it's been a year or two since I have gotten into the guts of my machine, so I'm still used to getting a new drive and having to F-disk the drive, swapping the drives out so that you had one in lead and one in... Okay. So all I need to do then is put it in position 1 and my system, and then make sure that my system is set for USB load, and it'll do everything I need it to do, yeah? Okay, that should be fine. Boot off the USB drive. And it'll make a bootable USB, which I have, by the way, it's set that way already. The system already is. I know because I had one bootable USB drive that if it was plugged in, boy, you want to talk about freaking my machine out every time I load it. So. All right. All we're going to be able to accomplish for today is going to be these two things. That's going to be we're going to call this a good thing, and we'll say we're good, and that'll be fine. No, and then call you. Okay, but it might be like 1 or 2. Is that okay? I think one of the things I might also do is move my PC up here.
Are you talking to me or your show?
The show.
Okay.
But I am going to go ahead and go on the show. I think we're done for the day. So I'll give you a call, Brent. Thank you. And for everybody else, we'll see you tonight, hopefully, with this PC running. We'll see how it goes. Talk to you all later. Thank you. Bye-bye.